Hello. I'm trying not to be too loud this segment. Even though last segment I was really not that loud, but my brothers are sleeping in the other room, so and they got school tomorrow, so that'd be the considerate thing to do. Yeah. Hello. This is another episode of She Talks. A lot. Oops. I'm gonna make sure I keep my lipstick on. I did a new lipstick combo today. This one is like very, very nude, but we like her. She's cute. I like looking at myself in the monitor, and I look good, so she looks good. But how are you guys? It's been a long time. I know. I said that I wasn't gonna put myself on a schedule, but like I think I need to, because my last episode was a month ago and it was my first one. So I'm like, I need to be on a better schedule. So I'm going to get better, because there are things I needed to talk about. But it's funny. This segment, I already knew what I was going to talk about, but it has, with me putting it off, it has evolved into different things. It kind of my bad. It kind of evolved to something different, even though it was still the same topic, but I was going to say something different than what I was going to initially say. And then something else happened, and then I went right back to what I was gonna say. And then something else happened. I was like, okay, now I'm molding the two together. Yeah. Today was a really weird day. I will say that. It was a really weird day. And it really wasn't it wasn't weird all day, but you know how one event that happens will kind of try to derail your whole day. And I've been really good with not allowing things to take over how I feel overall, but I think I'm getting my period soon. So I think that had a lot to play in and how I felt today, because it didn't make sense. And I knew I was getting my period because I felt low, and it didn't make any sense as why I felt low. There was no rhyme or reason. Usually if I feel low, there's a valid reason for it. But this time it just was why? Hormones. The one time, only women can say this, okay? Men, you cannot say, oh, she's just on her period. No. Only women get to say that, because we have a period, okay? So we can complain about it. You cannot complain about it. So sorry. There's definitely a double standard here. But yeah, what am I going to talk about? I have 2 episodes that I kind of want to do tonight. It is the night. I do want to say that. I did my makeup 30 minutes ago, and it is now, what time is it? Damn, I look good. Okay, let me stop. It is 1 o'clock in the morning, but I have work later, really late in the day. I only think I have 1 client tomorrow. As of right now, I should look again, because it does change daily, and it could literally change up until the hour until I'm scheduled to go. So I should probably look at that. In case you guys didn't know, I am a hairstylist. Like, the job that actually pays me is I do hair. And I actually started in makeup, but it kind of evolved into doing hair, and that is another food for another day. Yes, because that's like a whole thing. I could really get down and like not get down. I could really go into detail of like how I came to be, you know, an artist, because a makeup artist and a hairstylist is still the same thing. Stylist, artist, yes. Yeah. My last video was fun. I liked it. I liked the first. I feel like the skit was kind of the icebreaker, but this was like the icebreaker. The skit, okay. The skit was the icebreaker to the first episode, okay? And the first episode was the icebreaker to the podcast as a whole, okay? Okay, yeah, boom, there we go. Yeah, I'm getting better at posting, you know, yeah. As I say this, it's like been a month since my first episode, but I have been better at posting. I've been better at posting on Instagram. I am better at posting on YouTube. I've been better at posting on TikTok. I need to like really get into posting even more frequently, but I was like really bad before, and I'm going to pat myself on the back. I'm going to acknowledge the growth that I have done with social media, because I go on like these like stretches of like, okay, I'll post something and then it'll be like 2-3 weeks and I won't post again. And that's not good, especially if you're trying to build a following or build, just, you know, have people just like see your work. So I've gotten better. I need to be even better than that. I need to like be posting like every single day, but I'm going to acknowledge the growth that I have done. So yes, good job, Bailey. Good job. So for this episode, and I had this title like, okay, the title, well, you already fucking know the title because it's gonna be the title. But anyway, I had this title picked out when I went to my brother's graduation. He's in the army. Yeah. It's good for him. It definitely is good for him. I couldn't do it, but kudos to you, Julian. My brother's name is Julian. You doing it, okay? Like, and he's thriving. He loves it. I'm so happy that he loves it, you know? So I don't exactly know what it's called. So don't get down my throat about me not having the correct term, but he graduated from I guess the starting of it, like the training. I think it's called training. I'm just gonna call it training. He graduated from the training of like starting the army and everything. And you know what's funny? He really said it was like the movies, like how they really try to tear you down and build you up from the ground up, you know. They also, it's more or less like stripping you of your single identity. They kind of like, you all move as a unit. If one person fucks up, guess what? You all fuck up. And you all are, you know, you gotta bear those consequences. Yeah, so he said it really is like the movies. Like everything that they, you know, do in a movie or a TV show is pretty much how it is. But he didn't have his phone for, I think it was like 12 weeks. Was it 12 weeks? No, he wasn't gone for 12 weeks. Okay, I'm gonna say 8 to 12 weeks because I'm not exactly sure. Because 12 weeks is 3 months. That's a long time. Was he gone for that long? I don't think so. Well, okay. He was gone since January 1st. No, 3rd. And he had his graduation March. I am going to I'm going to look that up and put it. It was March. It is March. No, because it's March now, right? Oh yeah, you can clearly see I have been out of it. I'm going to look it up and like find out. Okay. But yeah, going back to that story. Of course, my parents, went to his graduation, and having them both there, like, it's been very interesting, having this different mindset and this kind of like different outlook on life right now, and then almost not being back into like a kid or like a kid setting, more of like a kid setting, like your parents, and then like you are with your parents and they're like taking care of you and everything like that, because they were definitely paying for everything. Took me there, it just was like I really felt like it was almost like being back to being a kid, and kind of seeing things with a different light, with a different mindset, with a different perspective. And I was really able to see all like how they respond to things is like how I respond to things. And I was like, wow, you are your parents. Or are you? Are you? Or is that just your trauma response because that's all you know? Or that's all you did know? Because honestly, the things that I realized that I adopted from them weren't that great. So I was like, oh, I got that from you. And one prime example was my father. So we went to this, it kind of was like a mall. It was like a mall on the base. And we were like getting shirts that said like army sister, army something, okay, something about whoever you were to the person that was in the army, like they had a cute little like shirt for it, so we were all like getting our shirts and everything. And at this point, like my mom had went somewhere, and mind you, my parents are divorced, so it was like the only time that they ever like are in like a setting together is when it's about their children. But my mom was gone, and it was just me, my stepmom, and my sister and me. Yeah. And I'm just like in my own world, just like looking at the shirts, seeing which one I like better, or seeing, whichever one, And my sister, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but she always like gets attention from like the randomest dudes. Like, and she don't even be doing nothing. They just be, I think it's that booty. Her booty is colossal. I got the boobies from my dad's side because my mom does not have boobs. I mean, she does have boobs. Of course she does. But like her boobies are like itty bitty. My boobies are big and titty, So, but my mom got a big old booty, okay? And my booty is like, I feel like it's like average for like a black girl. Like, it's big for other ethnicities, but for a black girl, it's pretty average, right? My sister, she got a big booty. She got a big old booty, okay? She got that from my mama, because my mama got a big old booty. So, she got that from her, and I got the boobies from my dad's side. But anyway, so I really think it's that, but it could just be her award-winning smile. We never know. But yeah, so this dude like came up to her, and mind you, I'm in my own world, so I didn't even know this guy came up to her and like talking to her or whatever. And she comes up to me, and she I could tell she was kind of like asking for help. You know how like you like someone's like right there and they're like annoying you, or like they're like talking to you for like way too long, so you're like, oh my god, you know. And I'm like, oh yeah, she didn't get the cue though, because I did try to save her. Like, I got the situation, I was very aware of the situation, and I was like, oh yeah, like come over here, I'm gonna pay for my shirt so she can move with me. But she didn't. I don't know why, because she came up to me and was like, oh yeah, so you're getting a shirt, huh? Like, and kind of like looked at me like, and then I look over and see the guy, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm like, okay, yeah, come with me. I'm gonna go get my shirt, buy my shirt. I don't know. I guess he like started to have another conversation with her, and she didn't want to be mean. I don't know what the heck happened, but like she didn't go with me, and I went to go pay for my shirt. So I don't know. So I was like, well, maybe she wanted to talk to him. I don't know, like, you know. So then she does come up finally, and she's looking at me like, and I hear him say like, oh, like, how old are you? And she's like, oh yeah, I'm oh yeah, I'm 21. He's like, oh my god, you're mind you, this dude is like, he looks like he's older than my dad. Like, he looks like he is in his 60s. He's talking about, and he was telling her that he was retired, he got a house, he got a boat, he got all these things, honey. Like, trying to, like, I don't know, dudes do this a lot. Like, they, like, show off or, like, say, like, what they got. Like, you know, the things that they have. Like, oh, yeah, I got my own house or whatever. Like, I'm all retired and shit. Like, I gotta. They always do that. They're just kind of like, I don't know, like puffing their chest, like, ooh, I'm good, you know, like come with me, whatever. So, and then he asked her like how old she was, and she was like, I'm 21. He was like, oh really, and then like. Then my stepmom was next to me too. Like, she came over and was like listening too. And then he was like, oh, this your mom? And then she was like, yeah. And then my dad had came over and he was like, oh, this your dad? And then she was like, yeah. Like, you know, he kind of like pivoted into like, instead of like trying to be the person like preying on her. And I don't really know if it was praying, because like I guess he didn't know how old she was, but he clearly knew she was a lot younger than him. Like, my sister doesn't look old. Like, she looked 21. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, take it however you want to look at it, but he definitely was like trying to get him a little sugar baby, you know, especially because he was like telling her all the shit that he has, you know. And then when he realized like her whole family was there, he like redirected and was like, oh, and then he had said like, oh, that's why they came up. That's why I'm like, okay, they came up to the front because he was wanting to pay for her shirt. That $20 shirt. He was like, oh yeah, baby, I'll pay for this. You know, I got you. Anything for you, boo. So he went up, and then that's when, you know, we connected. And then he was like, oh, you want a shirt? I can get you a shirt. And mind you, I already had a shirt. So I was like, no, I'm good. Because I already paid for my shirt. Like, and I'm really bad at, like, finessing dudes, especially because, like, I don't like them. So I'm really bad at finessing dudes. Like, whenever they, like, even in, like, a club setting, if someone were to ask me for, like, a drink and it's a guy, I'd be like, no, 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 no. Even though they're coming up to me, they're asking me, you know, but I'm like, everyone's like, girl, you better get that drink, da 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 da. And I'm like, yeah, I feel like I need to be better with that. Because I'm just, like, super, like, if I really don't want anything from you, like, you just are not it for me or you're not my type, I'm not going to entertain you, you know? So I said no. I was like, no, I got my own shirt. And then my stepmom, so he paid for her shirt, his shirt. Oh, and he tried to pay for my dad's shirt. He tried to pay. He was like, oh, yeah, you know, I can pay. And he was like, nah, I'm good. I can pay for my shirt, you know? And then but again, like, he saw, like, her family was there, and especially, like, her dad. So he kind of, like, went to the dad to kind of make the situation better, you know, than, like, and like, kind of not taking it for, like, what it was. Like, he tried to, like, act like, oh, yeah, I'm just showing you my house, da 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 da. So he went over to my dad and was showing him his house, just his house, you know. And then my dad was like, oh, yeah, cool. And we're all like, why are you entertaining this man, you know? But we kind of just, like, slowly just, like, like, walked away, and then, you know, kind of just like, I'ma go. And then my dad, my dad tries to call us back over. He's like, oh, guys, come back. Like, look at his house. It's so nice. Look at his house. And we're looking at him like, what? And so my stepmom, like, made up a lie. She was like, oh, yeah, no, Julian, he's calling us, you know, like, oh, we gotta go, you know, like, what? And so then we went into this other part where, like, there were, like, fragrances and stuff like that. And we were, like, talking, and then, like, my dad, like, came up to us or whatever. And we were like, why did you... And for me, I was like, why did you do that? You know? Like, why, you know? And he was like, oh, yeah, like, oh, this is what my sister said. My sister was like, did you realize, like, what he was trying to do? Like, she was like, he was trying to, like, talk to me. Like, he was trying to, like, get at me and everything. And my dad was like, oh, yeah, I know. He was like, oh, yeah, like, I knew from the very beginning. He was like, I knew what he was trying to do. He was like, I was playing him, though. I was playing him. And in my head, I was like, but you didn't, though. Like, if anything, he played you. Because you allowed him to redirect the whole situation. You allowed him to kind of make the situation better, kind of put, like, a sweet little coating over, like, what he actually was trying to do, because he saw that your whole daddy was right there. So he was trying to be, oh, ha ha ha, I'm all innocent, ha ha ha, and you're not. And you are going along with it. And even more so, you're going along with it. You are also trying to bring us back to furthermore go along with it. So I was sitting there and I was like, no. And you know what? It dawned on me. It clicked in my head. I was like, oh my God. I do this because there was an instance, I'm not going to name names, but there was an instance, a situation that I was in, like, it was uncomfortable, but it wasn't like, I don't know. It was uncomfortable, and and I was with a really good, really, really, really good friend of mine, and there was an ex, and I I felt I was like making a situation better. So in my head, making the situation better was kind of like sugarcoating the situation, like how my dad was doing, like making everything okay. Like, oh, it's fine. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Everything's cool. Everything's okay. Like, I was acting very normal, like how I would be in a regular setting, like with my best friend at the time, with her and like her really good friends, well, all of our really good friends. I was acting the exact same, not taking into account that her whole fucking ex was here and he did some fucked up narcissistic shit, you know? And I wasn't really acknowledging that, and that really hurt her. And I didn't realize at the time. I'm like, what do you mean? I was like, I didn't get it. But literally, and then I realized, like, after I was like, oh my God, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't mean to make you feel like that, like my actions and everything. But literally seeing it outside of myself through my dad, I was like, oh. Oh my God. Wow, I got that from you. Because that's exactly what he did. He said that he knew the situation was uncomfortable. He said that he knew that what the guy was doing, but he still allowed him to kind of make the situation better. He still allowed him to put a false narrative on the situation because you don't want to make something uncomfortable, or you don't want to you don't want to be that person that like calls somebody out on something or whatever the case. And in turn, for you making a situation better, quote unquote, because honestly it really doesn't, you in turn making a situation better, you're actually hurting the other person. So that kind of hurt my sister Blaze. That hurt her because she was like this guy is like, I've been trying to get away from him for like 10 minutes now, and you over here kikiing with him, and he's the whole 60-year-old motherfucking dude. He older than you, and he trying to get with me, and I'm super uncomfortable, and you over here kikiing with him, and then you turn around and say that like, it was like he was trying to make the situation better, and it really was not. And he did not play that guy. The guy played him, okay? And I actually explained that to him because I knew firsthand. I was like, wow, like I'm really like seeing that, and I'm like it showed. And I told him, I was like, this it gives the it kind of shows that, not shows, it gives the impression that you're not protecting, like the gender roles or whatever, but like, you are the dad, so naturally the daughters come to you for protection. And when we don't get that, when she didn't get that, it was like, wow, like you feel hurt because even though in your head you didn't realize that's what you were doing, but that's what your actions showed. And I really explained that to him, and he was like, well, I get that. And I've seen that in him in other situations. There was this one situation. My dad is from West Virginia, and he's from like the deep part of West Virginia, like the country, like the real poor, super West Virginia, to the point where there's only one part in that area of West Virginia where black people are, Like literally, like every time that we would go to West Virginia, we would stop at certain places every single time, and we never ever deviated from stopping at this gas station, stopping at this gas station, and stopping at this gas station to get to Carbondale, West Virginia. Okay? Now, there was this one year, and I think I was in 3rd grade. There was this one year where the power went out. So, and I don't know why that honestly like changed where we were like stopping. Honestly, I don't know why, but it did. So we stopped at a gas station that we have never stopped before, and because we needed gas. I don't know why. Like whatever happens, but I just remember the power was out like literally everywhere, and we had stopped in a gas station that we had never stopped before. So right when we got out the car, I kid you not. And mind you, it's a whole bunch of white people. A whole bunch. That's all you see, right? I swear to God, it was like a pin could drop and you could hear that shit. They were looking at us like, who the fuck? Like, what the hell are they doing here? Somebody was pumping their gas and literally stopped mid-pump. Like, just holding the gas hose, just like looking at us. Everybody was just staring at us. Like, complete stare. Like, ooh, you can feel the like, what the fuck are you doing here? Even though I'm saying you know what I'm saying, you know? So we went inside because we had to go to the bathroom. So it's not like we're gonna know about. So I went in the bathroom. My dad went in the bathroom, and then he wanted to like get some snacks. I really wanted to just go to the bathroom a step, but he wanted to get some snacks, so we got some snacks, and we get up to the front, and even the guy that was checking us out, he was looking at us like he was checking us out all slow, and he was looking at us like he had never seen a black person ever in his life. Like, he was like, what is this alien doing right now? And my dad was talking to him, like trying to have a whole ass conversation with this dude. Like, oh my God, hey, like, how are you? Like, oh wow, you know, like, dude, just talking him up. And the guy's answering, but like really slow, like, yeah, cool. And I'm looking at him like, what are you doing? Like, shut up. Like, let's go. Like, get the shit and let's go. You know, like, I'm like, we gotta go. Because literally, they look like they was about to, like, bring out some shotguns or something. I swear to you. And honestly, that was, like, the first time I ever, like, really felt racism. Like, I felt it. And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God, I'm scared. I'm scared. So, I really was like, let's go. And then, so we, like, got in the car. I'm literally damn near running to the fucking car. He's just having a jolly old time. And these motherfucking white people looking at us like, make one wrong move and it's your ass. Okay? So, we get in the car. We finally drive off, and I'm looking at my dad like, dude, you didn't feel that? Like, you didn't see that? Like, all of them are looking at us, all of them. And he was like, oh yeah, I know. He was like, yeah, I know, yeah. Oh, trust me, I know I did, but you know, I wasn't gonna. He was like, yeah, but I just wanted to talk to them, you know, to kind of just make it better, and you know, act like, you know, I didn't really, you know, feel it or see it or whatever. And in at that time, my 3rd grade year old self, I was like, why? Like, why? Like, that was, and you know what? And that popped into my head when I was explaining to my dad, like, what your action showed to us. Because in that moment, like, that's what that showed to me too. Like, you weren't like protecting me. Like, I feel like I'm about to have to fight, you know, because you oblivious over here. Like, you not seeing what I'm seeing. So if anything pop up, I'm about to have to be like, okay, like, you know, and you're gonna be like, oh my god, what's going on, guys? Like, so that was a huge eye opener for me. And I'm like, wow, okay. Like, I really need to heal this part. I really need to acknowledge that and like really just be okay with it's okay to make other people feel uncomfortable. Like, the fact of the matter is they did it. Like, why are you trying to make a situation better? Like, they did it. Whatever it is, like, you shouldn't feel obligated to make something better on somebody else's behalf, because that in turn like takes away from you, and it can potentially hurt someone that you really do care about, and you don't care about that other person. You don't give a shit about them, you know? But you can, you know, run the risk of in turn like hurting someone that you actually do care about, just because you want to make a situation better, or like kind of sugarcoat something that's going on. And I was like, wow. And I finally got it. Like, I realized that I hurt her, and I realized that, especially after the fact, that it was something that I did do wrong, you know, but I didn't completely grasp why. You know, like, I understood he was a fucked up person and all this stuff, and I should have been meaner to him instead of just like acting like everything was just fine. And I understood that, but it really didn't click for me until I saw it with outside of me, like in my dad. And I was like, oh my God, wow. Because now, being on the other side of that, even though it wasn't specifically me, it was my sister, but being on the other side of that, I'm like, wow, like, it gives the impression or the feeling that like, oh, you don't care about me, or like, okay, well, I have to protect myself, you know, like, or, well, it's only me, you know, like, that really, and it's not a good feeling. That's not a good feeling, and that's not a good feeling. So yeah, so that was a lot. It was a lot of eye-opening things for me, and it just really showed me like, you get so much from your parents, like how you necessarily think about something, or how you move in the world, how you react to certain things, how you respond. I mean, reacting and responding is pretty much the same thing, but whatever. How you react, how you respond, how you anything, you know, whatever triggers you, like all that stuff. And you know, if it's not working for you, change it, baby. But like I said, I'm in the point in my life where I'm really like looking at me and looking at everything. I want to know everything about me, and I'm looking at everything that I do that's not working for me, that's not serving me in a good way anymore, or honestly, if it ever did, you know. And so I'm trying to unlearn those habits. I'm trying to unlearn those things, those things that I just do without even understanding why. I'm trying to now like understand why I did this, and why this is the action or reaction that I chose, you know, and change it to be better, even just evolve from that, you know, because that, it wasn't serving me. That right there, that doesn't serve anybody. That doesn't serve anybody, because you really got to hold somebody accountable, no matter if it's uncomfortable or not. Like,